Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we finally get to take a look at Hour of Need by Blacklist Games. This was their kind of third game in the modular deck system line, the first being Street Masters, and then they came out with Alter Quest, which was a huge hit, was very popular on Kickstarter, had a ton of stretch goals, and then they came out with Hour of Need kind of pretty quickly after. People hadn't gotten their hands on Alter Quest yet unless you had the original Street Masters. You really hadn't had a lot of experience with the modular deck system, but I liked what I saw from Alter Quest. I really liked at the time the direction that Blacklist Games was headed, so I ended up kind of going with the mid tier. I think this is the Justice tier. Basically, the only box I did not get, a standalone expansion I did not get, was the Law and Justice one. And then there's like some play mats and some other bling stuff, but this was like kind of the all-in pledge, I guess you could say, which has a lot of content here, and I'm hoping that this is an excellent game. It is essentially a, comic book style game where you play various heroes, you take on various villains, and there is a issue that is taking place, or an event that you need to solve the problem. And with the modular deck system, you pick your hero or heroes, you pick the villain you want to go after, and you pick the issue, the comic book issue, which is essentially the location and all the stuff that's going to happen in the location. But all of that is modular. So these are standalone, which is nice as far as retail is concerned. You could pick up just something like this, which has, it's basically 1 to 2 players. There's 2 heroes in here, judge and jury, 1 villain. This is basically twice as much. So this is like 4 heroes, 2 villains, 2 nemesis, twice as much as everything in the base game. But you don't even need the base game. You could pick up one of these smaller standalone expansions. The reason why I say finally get to unbox Hour of Need is because this game, I backed it back in 2019, which it was the same year Alter Quest went out on Kickstarter. And I don't think this game received a ton of production delays. Really a good chunk of, I guess that was right about the time that China was starting to have the COVID outbreak. And so they probably did deal with that. But just to give you guys some perspective of how long this has taken to get here, another game that I backed in a similar time frame, actually a few months after this one, but was also predicted to deliver in November 2020, and we all know those are late, was Cloudspire, second edition with Ankar's Plunder and all that stuff. And I've been doing videos, I've been playing Cloudspire since I think like March of 2021, and I've also received not 1 but 2 iterations of Marvel United and Marvel United X-Men now, both complete all-in pledges, before I ever received Hour of Need. So that just kind of puts it into perspective how long this game has been sitting there. And I think a lot of the issues that people are having with Blacklist Games now is these big question marks around: why is the game just sitting there? Why is it sitting at port? What is this holdup that's happening? We knew it was money related, but there was not a lot of good communication. So I'm going to put all that aside, and I'm going to try and unbox this game and get excited about it. We'll give it a fair judgment, do some playthroughs, do some how to play videos. We're going to give this the standard treatment. But yeah, I just felt like I had to get that off my chest, because this... there's going to be a lot of, I don't even remember about this, or I'm not sure, honestly, 100% everything that's going to be in these boxes, because I've kind of put this game out of my memory, trying not to think about it too much, because actually I have 4 projects from Blacklist Games that I am waiting on, this being one of them, one of the 4. And so yeah, they're kind of on my list right now. They're not as high up on my list as Simon, but they're up there. So let's see let's see what they produced. Okay, so again, this is the kind of base game. This is not the core game or the core box, because you don't need this box to play any of the others. This one just happens to have what they hope to be like, the most introductory heroes, and again, twice as much content. These are all original superheroes, so this isn't based on any previous IP, which I do appreciate from Blacklist Games. It gives you something new, but it also, you don't quite get as excited about these no-name heroes here as you do like Marvel or DC, or like they recently, one of the projects I'm waiting on them for is the Contra board game. Huge amount of nostalgia for me, and it's just sitting over there in China. Anyways, here is the rule book. I actually have not gotten to see the finished production of the rule book. There may have been an update way back when where they put it out there, but again, I kind of have tuned this game out because I was really sick of just the excuses they kept throwing around as to why this game was just sitting at the port in Orlando or Tampa or wherever the port is. Anyways, not too bad of a rule book. If you are familiar with their system, this game I believe should probably come pretty similar to you. So if you're familiar with Ultra Quest or Street Masters, the whole like tokens and playing action cards and things like that. So here's where the comic book style really comes into play. So this is the issue guide. And remember, the issue is essentially just the location or the underlying plot, but you can put in any hero you want and any villain you want into the issues here, and we'll see if I don't think there's going to be any spoilers. This is not a campaign game by any means. There are some story moments, so we're just going to kind of keep things moving here. They've got some special components, but other than that, it doesn't, they don't tell you exactly who all needs to be in it. Now, I do have some replacement cards which has her picture on it, but that's pretty much going to be heroes and villains. Okay, so here we have a little backstory for everybody. Majesty and Stride gives you the complexity rating, Gorilla, and Micro Guy. So basically everybody's super basic except Micro Guy. Dowager and Curtains, those are the two villains, and just some fun artwork. So again, they're really laying into the whole comic book style thing. We have some tokens here. I mean, honestly, these are very dull looking in my opinion. This, you couldn't even put like a little POW behind it or something. I'm assuming this is probably some kind of health tracker counter or something like that, but this really just seems very bland to me. Let's hope the rest of them look nicer. These are getting a little bit better here. Decent artwork on these. That's Micro Guy and Micro Guy's suit. Not sure what the A means. These are the bystanders, but we should have some miniatures for the bystanders, I believe. And here again, this is really just kind of a big old sheet of kind of some bland tokens. Not anything super exciting, nothing to get super excited about. Okay, so here are the two issue boards. Again, these are meant to be, where the plot is. And so one of the things I did find unique about this game is that some of them, a lot of the missions are these very zoomed out looks of, for example, an entire city. And then as you move around the city, then you're going to be entering like zoomed in portions like the bank and the subway tunnels and the news and the abandoned warehouse. So stuff can happen You know, you could be fighting villains and things like that up on a more macro level, but also have to take care of schemes and plot twists and things like that on a more micro level. So I thought that was an interesting way to do it. You know, this is the starting space here. Various threat and stuff will pop out here. These kind of line up with these, and then bystanders will pop out here. So let's see what's on the other side. So again, pretty zoomed out look of kind of the what appears to be the warehouse district, the docks, or something like that. You know, there's some appears to be some water spaces, probably some hazard or something you have to deal with. But yeah, you know, they definitely have a different feel to them, the boards and whatnot. So this is a little bit more zoomed in, but still. Let's see. Okay, so this is like you're going into another room almost, maybe. Acquisitions office, going down the stairs to the archives, the digital collections, and the circulation desk. Okay. And then let's see what this last one is. Automated chaos. Okay. So again, this is another, so two very zoomed out looks and two more zoomed in looks. But again, I could take Judge and Jury and play them on these, or Gem and Ice and play them on these. All right, so let's now take a look at, we'll save the miniatures for last. So they do have some nice card dividers, which is a nice touch. They did this for Ultra Quest and Street Masters. You know, I always appreciate it when companies do this, because this game is all about supposedly pulling out the cards quickly and easily. So here are like, yeah, Century Heist, Making Waves, Automated Chaos, and Volume 9, or no, 8, sorry. No, 18. Volume 18. So there's the issues, miscellaneous cards. So that's nice. We've got a whole bunch of card decks here. So we'll take a closer look at those here in a second, but storage appears to be pretty simple. You've got some bases, some dice. This isn't very many. I think though that there must be some dice in the standalone copies, because how else could it be standalone if it didn't have the dice? So I think that's why I decided not to back additional dice, because I did feel like 5 is not very many when they have the exploding symbols on them. But if I'm going to be getting a whole bunch, I'll probably just combine them into one box maybe. So I'm assuming all the cards go right here. Hopefully there's a place to put those few other things underneath here. But let's take a look at the miniatures here. Okay, there is. There's a nice little storage area for all of our tokens. So essentially what you have here are your, looks like your 4 heroes here. I'm going to do a close-up of all of these just here in a second. And then your 2 villains, your 2 nemesis, and then these are the lackeys, I believe they're called. So these are, you know, thugs, minions to the villains and the nemesis that come out. And so I believe that one of these always comes along with, you know, one and the other. So these guys maybe always travel with her, and these girls always travel with him. But yeah, and then there is this storage solution here. So we will give our opinion on how this works out. There's obviously just 3 wells and a whole lot of tokens back there, but they're pretty deep in. It's got a nice lid on it. Maybe you could just pull that out and leave that in there. I don't know, it's kind of a deep box. But yeah, let's take a closer look at these, and then we'll take a closer look at the cards. So here are the cards. I'm just going to show off these small ones first. Again, I've not been paying a whole lot of attention to this game, and so I honestly have no idea how these are supposed to work, but they all say clue cards on them. They're the only ones that are this size. And on the flip side here, it says villain sighting, picture of 2 orange dice, and then it says you may solve. So you may move, you may attack, you may either place 1 justice token. So I really have no idea how you obtain these or how these are supposed to work. But there's the small cards. Then there are the issue decks. I'm not going to go into these. I'm just gonna briefly show you that there are some specific enemies in here, and then various stuff. So just a very brief overview of what the issue decks are. I feel like if there were any sort of spoilers, even though again this is not campaign, this is not a story game, anything like that, but there might be some interesting stuff. This would be like showing you all the pages of a comic book. But what we are going to take a look at are some of the heroes and villains. So here is a hero card, and you can see it's double-sided here. Stride is focused on this side, and here she's just Stride the hero. But she's got some statistics and special ability down here, and then can become focused, obviously. Her statistics appear to stay the same, but her special ability, she's always urgent. And then so this is going to be the card that sits out in front of you here, and hopefully can be flipped over at some point or another. And then she has her action deck, unique to her. And so you've got things like flurried strikes, attack, gaining +1 and targeting any number of spaces within 5 spaces of you, then move. 60 steps ahead. After you draw a villain card, you may discard this card from your hero play area to either cancel its showdown effect or move to any space. So she's all about speed, moving quickly, and like this is a constant one. So this is an instant one, this is a constant one. So if you play this down, it's going to stay in front of you. Instant. I honestly, to be perfectly honest with you, I thought there was going to be a little bit more variety. There's a lot of, just kind of the same cards here. Interesting. Time to spare. What do you suppose she's doing? Artwork is a little suggestive there. And here she only has 1 eye. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. Not nearly the variety of another game that came out around the time that this was kickstarted. Interestingly enough, that game was from Fantasy Flight, where Adam and Brady Sandler used to work before going over to Blacklist Games. So here's Micro Guy. If he's focused, he's in his big mech suit, and if he's not, he's just the tiny little pilot. So let's kind of take a look at what his cards do. Superior firepower, again, just exhaust, and then attack targeting space within 6 spaces. Sentient decoy. If your hero card is on its mech side, you may flip it and place your pilot token in any space and gain 1 clue card. Okay. Sentry mode, exhaust if your hero card is on its mech side. Aerial mode, when you play this card, you may move to any space. Not bad. Brilliant engineer. And when size matters, okay, you can flip your card. And out of sight. Okay, so that was Micro Guy. Here is Gorilla. This is his focused side. Here's his regular side. Take a look at his cards here. Silent Knife. Gain 1. I thought that was Majesty's tokens, but maybe not. Result during your attack actions. Infiltrate.
tech savvy. He doesn't look like a tech savvy guy, but that's fine. Master of Recon. Move 1 additional space during each of your move actions. Sonic Disruption. No one left behind. Okay, I'm trying to remember how many like unique cards there were per character in Ultra Quest, but I feel like there was more. So here's Majesty. She's like the Superman / Captain Marvel / I don't really know who she's supposed to be kind of implementing. Obviously Stride is the Flash, Micro Guy is Ant-Man, Gorilla is... I don't know who Gorilla is supposed to be. So let's see here. Color the Sky. She's got flight ability. I'm assuming that's what that means. X-ray vision. Okay. Optimistic spirit. she's just standing there watching Gorilla do all the work. That's not cool. She could at least be holding the guy up for him. Power of positivity. You done talking. And arousing speech. Micro Guy on her shoulder. Alright, then there are these 2 Nemesis cards. I'm not 100% sure how these guys make it into a specific deck or anything like that, but they have, you know, they are double-sided as well. And then last but not least, we have 2 villains. And another thing that I'm going to point out, which is very interesting, is you can see here that he has 2 sides. He has his regular villain side, showdown side, which I'm assuming he's attacking people on this side, and then he has his scheming side. I don't know if he flips back and forth between the 2, but you know, basically one side he can attack you and one side he schemes. Sounds very familiar in my mind. Coincidence? I'm not sure. So here's her lackey stagehand. Oh, I didn't realize that that was a shotgun on her back. Interesting. But yeah, basically the lackey's gonna come out, and you can see here she's blue, here she's red. So I believe that's what the tokens are for. Yellow, craving an audience. So I'm not 100% sure like what all this stuff means here, but again, a lot of, you know, the same card. The show must go on. Plot twist. So that was Curtains. And last but not least, we have Dowager with the neck tattoo. Very, very sexy. Yeah, red eyes and a neck tattoo. All right, Loyal Crew. Call the boys. Okay, so yeah, her stooge is the pretty boy in a vest. So we've seen all of these. Widow's Trail. Ooh, Gorilla's getting blown up there. Have a Peace. You may discard 1 clue card. If you do not or cannot, Dowager inflicts you. Murderous Intent. And Loyal Crew again. So yeah, there we go. That was all of the cards. Basically, that is everything that comes in the base game box. There's these last few cards over here. Basically, they give you 6, which is a little weird because it's only supposed to be a 4-player game. But you basically have your, you know, villain turn, and then you flip over here, hero turn, and then the issue turn. So you start on this side, and you can see game round continued. Basically, on the hero turn, you can take 2 actions. Any one of these is an option, and then once everybody has taken their hero turn, you all draw a card, and then you take 1 issue turn. So, and it says here each hero draws and resolves a villain card in any order. So, yeah, very similar to Street Masters, in my opinion. So, which is a great game, by the way. I do like Street Masters. That is one of the other games, Street Masters Enter the Dragon or whatever. Another game by Blacklist Games that I'm waiting on. But anyways, let's take a look at some of the expansions. Before we move on here, I did just want to I'm wondering now actually if I just wanted to kind of show off the kind of ridiculousness of this box. It is comically bigger than it needs to be. I realize that the cards sitting on their sides here, but there is this well in here that I'm wondering if these smaller cards are meant to fit in there. But there are these 3 large things here, so there's plenty of room for all the tokens, but again, there's only 3 openings, so a lot of the tokens are mixed up. It's going to be hard fishing them out, and then I just threw the other stuff on top. But look at how much room there is here. I feel like I'm missing half the cards. Now, there are some stretch goals, which includes some cards. I'm hoping actually to fit all the stretch goal content into this box and maybe fill some of this space up with some additional miniatures. So we're actually going to take a look at the stretch goals next. But if you're just going out to get this game in retail and this is the only box you're picking up, like, what do you do with all this space? Even if you sleeved every single one of these cards, even if you sleeved the freaking dividers, you're not even going to come close to filling half of this space. So all your cards then eventually just fall over and get all mixed up, and the whole point of the dividers and all that stuff just completely goes out the window. So let's see what else we can fill this box with. So here is essentially the stretch goals. It's a little weird that they broke them all out into individual boxes. I guess they're thinking that for retail purposes, having these 3 smaller boxes will be easier to sell. I do have these replacement cards, which is interesting. I remember hearing some stuff about this, but obviously, hopefully there's some instruction somewhere, because this doesn't feel like the full amount of volume. Oh, well, this is volume 36. The other one was volume 18. We already established that, so interesting enough. So we're going to put those over there. Don't really need to take a look at them right now. So again, this is the stretch goals, which I think is a couple more heroes, maybe another villain. This is upgrading all the tokens that we just saw to miniatures. I'm pretty sure both of these were considered stretch goals. The Jade Kid was kind of like a gift, because the campaign really wasn't going very well, and I think they really just wanted to unlock that, so they gave everyone this for free. And Hour of Need Redemption, I'm pretty sure, is just a bunch of cards, which will hopefully fill that slot up we just looked at. This was kind of like an add-on, but as long as you pledged anything base game or higher, you got it for free. And this is essentially allowing you to play the villains as heroes. So it gives you hero type cards for the villains if you wanted to play that. So let's take a look at the stretch goal box first here, because again, I don't remember this campaign being overly like unlocking a ton of stuff like Alta Quest was or Street Masters was. What I do remember is all the other stuff was coming out around then, including Marvel Champions, Zombicide 2nd Edition, which was a huge campaign, had just finished up its Kickstarter. So I think there was a lot of Kickstarter fatigue when this game launched. Can't get this out here. Okay. So we've got some dividers. And yeah, I'm not 100% sure whether these guys, I'm assuming there's 2 villains in here, because then these would be the lackeys. This must be Acrid here, so I'm assuming these green guys, which are cool. These guys are cool. I always like it if a miniature feels thematic without having to be painted, so there we go. Acrid, and then I don't know who else here is the villain. I'm guessing this guy maybe, and these guys here again. So not bad, not a bad little pack here. Let's take a look at who we are looking at here. Again, more dividers. Always appreciate dividers. So we have Fault and Acrid. Just 2. Where's the rest? I see 4 people here. Let's take a look quickly at the cards. Maybe the cards can explain more what we are looking for. So we have Fault here, Hero Flesh and Hero Stone. Okay. And I'm not going to go through all of her cards again. I'm really just trying to figure out. Okay, so Time Frame is an ally? Interesting. So he just has this one card. Alright, I'm going to set that off to the side. Lox Lee, aka Robin Hood. Curtain Call. Crisis. A whole bunch of random cards in this stretch goal box. So he's another Nemesis, which we saw earlier. And then there's Acrid here. So he's got the lackeys. But what I want to know is who are these guys? Who the heck are they? There's no card for them in here. Hold on. Loxley, Nemesis. We got a card for him right there. Curtain Call. Maybe this is... Maybe they go along with this? Because these guys do look very theatrical. Maybe these are the Curtain Call miniatures. Okay. That must be what it is, because I don't think they come along with Time Frame, and we see Fault in there. So yeah, these obviously, the cards at least, are going to go into the base box. Wondering how well these guys are going to fit there. But, figure that out later. So let's set that off to the side. Let's take a look at our Bystander and Minion upgrade pack. Whoops. Cards coming out in here. So there's this guy, Bruiser. Fleeing Citizens. Okay. They get some cards. And yeah. This one girl here doesn't look like she's in... I mean, she looks like she's fighting back. So yeah, not too shabby. A lot more miniatures here. Maybe we can give them like a wash or something. So there's that. So lots more plastic, basically. Here, I'm guessing a whole bunch of cards. All right. Oh, nope, 3 tokens. Okay. And if we already have a Dowager thing, I guess this is just to keep the villain cards separate from the hero cards. And what's interesting is they gave us a whole nother miniature for all 3 of these guys. So not every villain can be played as a hero, but I mean, I wonder if this is because we'll have to take a look at whether or not those miniatures are even different. And then a whole bunch of cards here. So I'm not going to look at these because we've already kind of seen a lot of what we're looking at there. Definitely wanting to fit this into the base box. I'm hoping to fit all of this into the base box, to be perfectly honest with you. And then just have 3 boxes essentially, because these smaller boxes are a pain to like find shelf space for. Let's be honest. All right. And here is the Jade Kid. Okay, so there's a bystander. I was like, I'm pretty sure the gift included a bystander and the Jade Kid here. So here's the Jade Kid. here's the little child bystander here that also came with Jade Kids. So we've got, oh, there's Annabelle. Here we go. So I guess a lot of the bystanders have a single card here. So basically Jade Kids deck and Annabelle's special card. Again, not bad. They really could have saved on a lot of plastic and cardboard and such, I feel like, by putting those all into one larger box. But yeah, so that is all of the stretch goal content. Let's see what naturally fits into the base game box. Quick update. So this is all of the cards added in to the stretch goal box, and you can see again we're only even filling up half of this tray. There is, you know, a good amount of space here. I almost was able to get this to fit in there, but it started stretching it. And this is probably the one box that I would rather not have, because I did realize that these three guys here are pretty much just exact copies of the villain miniatures. So I guess maybe if I get super bored, but I got so much painting backup, it's ridiculous. You could paint them in two different schemes. Probably not something I'm gonna do. So yeah, maybe I'll just let my kids paint these up or something. We'll see. But yeah, if I could find something hopefully to fit in there to throw all of this extra plastic in, that might be perfect. Because again, even if you sleeve these cards, it's not going to take up this whole tray here. So I'm wondering why. Why did they create such a large card tray? But anyways, let's push all this off to the side and let's get to the final two boxes, the standalone expansions, Judge and Jury and Gem and Ice. Okay, so here is the Judge and Jury, again, a standalone expansion for Hour of Need. So this is actually the smallest pledge you could make. You didn't have to necessarily get the core or base box. You could have, I think it was just $35 to get this box. So some of you, maybe that's what you went in on, and whether or not you're seeing something you like out of the base game, maybe you feel like you made the right decision. I don't know, but let's take a look at what's inside a standalone expansion for Hour of Need. So a rule book, assuming that this is pretty much going to be the same thing. Yes, it appears to be the exact same book, except a few of the pictures have changed. For example, the issue board here is not the overview of the city. I'm assuming this is one of the issue boards here. You know, like this picture is different, these pictures are different, so that's at least a nice touch. I do appreciate the effort there. I guess component breakdown was obviously different, but for the most part it looked like the rule book was the same. Issue guide, so there's less here, obviously, because it's like half as much as what's in the base game. So there's visiting hours with that crazy lady and campaign trail. And then again, a little bio on Judge, Jury, and so there's one liner there on the back. So that's a nice touch. Okay, whole bunch more of these boring tokens. So there's that. And then there's this. So we have most of these already, except for these four is really all we need out of here. Assuming that I'm not going to throw these away, because you never know, I may sell these off as standalone boxes. But yeah, again, these are standalone expansions, so you would expect to see things like duplicated tokens and all that jazz. All right. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. So here's the campaign trail issue. Zoomed out, basically city at night,
super exciting. And then this appears to be, this is the visiting hour, so I guess this is like the insane asylum or the jail. I don't know. Hospital waiting room. Like, is that what these chairs are? This is the waiting room. This is the emergency room. This is the front desk. Doctor's office. I don't know. North Ward, Medical Ward, South Ward, Administration. Okay. Kind of a creepy looking hospital. All right, we have our, let's see who's in this box here other than Judge, Jury, and One-Liner. Judge, Jury, One-Liner, Visiting Hours, oh yeah, Campaign Trail, and Miscellaneous. Unfortunately, they're going to give me a whole bunch of miscellaneouses and not a single one that's like, okay, Bystanders, okay, Nemesis, which would be nice. So yeah, some more clue cards. These appear to be the same. Yep, and see here, I got a whole another set of colored rings and a whole another set of dice. Cards. I'm not going to necessarily tear into these. I wasn't super excited about the cards the first time. Now this is nice that it appears they gave us a slot for the actual cards, but that's it. They gave you a slot for the cards. We'll take a look at these miniatures here in a second. They gave you a slot for those. Boom. But where would you put all the tokens? If this was the only box you got, where are you putting all of these? And this is all the more cards you're going to take up. Right there. Boop. Just put them at this end too. This end's like tilted a little bit, so they sit like that. So you would obviously need to come up with some little box to put in here. Interesting choices. All right, so let's take a look at these miniatures and then we'll move on to the final box. Okay, so here is the final box. This is Gem and Ice, and this is essentially supposed to be like Brady and Adam Sadler. I don't know which one is which. Guessing, yeah, guessing Adam and Brady. Anyways, it's a little self-serving that they keep putting themselves in their games. I mean, at the end of the day, if you make a game, you're right, but I don't know if it's something I would necessarily do if I was ever able to create a game. Anyways, yeah. Rulebook. I'm guessing these first couple pages are going to be unique, and then everything is going to be exactly the same. Yep. Okay. So there's that. This appears like it maybe has 2 villains in it. 1, 2. Shattered World. And Burning Heart. Solar Pain. Okay. Astasia, Gem, and Ice. So one of those guys must have been Nemesis or something. Alright, so I'm guessing we're going to have a whole bunch of the same tokens here. Yep, there's that. I've seen that. These guys are new. This is new. These 2 guys are new. I don't see that picture of that one dude that was... Yeah, where's this guy? Must be a Nemesis. Alright. We have Burning Heat. Appears to be a frozen crater of some sort. Frozen core. Cryo vaults. Yeah. And then this. Whatever this is. Shattered World. That looks cool. there are spaces in between all of these ones that are lighter color. There are hexes, I guess you could say. They're barely visible, but they are there. I'm wondering if you're not supposed to notice them though, and you got to stay on these. Anyways, and it looks like a whole bunch of the same stuff. So glad I didn't get extra dice pack. Clue cards again, which can go right there. Just 2 decks of cards worth to fill up this thing. And maybe I could at least combine the 2 standalone boxes into one box. So yeah, I still don't know where this dude is. They've got this guy on the picture, but he did not get his own miniature. Did he even get his own token? No, he didn't get his own token. The lackeys appear to be warthogs or something. So yeah, we're gonna close things out with taking a look at these guys. That's going to do it for our unboxing of Hour of Need. Stay tuned for some how to play and gameplay videos. Once again, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. Have a great day.